And welcome back to the locker room. The guru, Coach Van Pettaway, and yours truly, Dr. Mike Prince. Coach, how you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great, Dr. Prince. It's another great day that he's given us, and a little on the nippy side here in Huntsville, but other than that, it's great.
Yeah, nippiness can mean two things, Coach. The sign of winter arriving, and we are definitely in basketball season.
Oh, yes. The balls are bouncing.
Yes, sir. We're going to definitely hit on that in a little bit. But we're going to recap the weekend it was in the land of the gridiron from the Southwestern Athletic Conference, man. Some intriguing games, some surprising wins in some accords, and it seems like things are shaping out before we hit this final stretch.
Right. In fact, this weekend coming up, you could have two teams to clinch their divisions. So, in other words, you could have the championship game set by the end of the week.
Right.
Yeah. But as anyway, what we got to get to this week, so we got to go back and give out our grades for last week, and let's start with Alcorn and Texas Southern. Alcorn won that game 42-21. And I'm going to give Alcorn an A. Texas Southern, or get a C.
Absolutely. I wasn't expecting no more out of Texas, so I was surprised they scored 21 points, to be honest with you, Coach.
Yeah.
And I was impressed with the consistent performance. Even though they're still lacking quarterback play, Alcorn just proved that they had the better depth and, I guess, better squad at this time.
Right, yeah, they sure did. All right, and then we're going to go Grambling and Alabama State. Grambling State won the game 24-23. Grambling will get an A. Alabama State will get a D.
No doubt about it. When you talk about disappointment, they were primed. I had Alabama State at the start of the season to be one of the last teams standing at the top of the East. But they thoroughly, and Coach, I'm so disappointed. I gave a D- because I was like, there's absolutely no way. And then once again, Grambling, in spite of all of the internal strife that have been going on of recent, they found a way to come together collectively, and I'm going to give them an A. Okay.
And then a game that really, I think, was a surprise to a lot of people. Bethune-Cookman went into Southern. Southern won that game 25-23. I'm going to give Southern a B-, and Bethune-Cookman will get a B.
Southern is like that old alley cat. And this is a true story I'm about to tell you, Coach. We had a cat, old Tomcat, and believe it or not, his name was Pooh.
Okay.
And when I tell you this joker, remember old Heathcliff, the legend of Heathcliff?
Yep.
This joker fought dogs and everything, man. And my pop decided, he had lived a long, fruitful life, and he didn't want to have old Pooh euthanized. So we took him to the park. And that park, I'm guesstimating, was about 5 miles from the home. And they let Pooh off into the venture. They said let him live out his life in the quote-unquote wilderness of the park, right? He can survive off of wild game. And, Coach, 2 weeks later, we hear a rowling at the door. And lo and behold, it was Pooh.
Back at home.
And I said all that to say, them Southern Jaguars, you can cast them out, you can leave them for dead, but they find a way to cheat death, man, and they continue to do it. And folks can say, "Oh, they're lucky. They should have lost this one." And maybe, but when we go back 10 years from now, they ain't gonna look at what look. They're gonna look at that win and loss column,
right?
And they just keep finding a way. I'm going to give them an A+, but just continue to find a way. Bethune-Cookman, I'm giving a B+ because I wasn't expecting them to show up that much with that much fight. But it just proves that we got to play the games and never underestimate or count anyone out.
Right. That is so true, so true, so true. And then down at Jackson, Mississippi, Jackson State hosted Mississippi Valley. Jackson State won that game 51-42. 31-14. Jack State will get an A from me, and Valley, they'll get a C.
Believe it or not, I give Valley a C+. And the reason I give Valley a C+, for a moment, for a fleeting moment, they had the folks in Jackson, Mississippi, knees clacking, man.
Yep.
They had them knees clacking. You like you say, it's hard to fail them. Mm-hmm. And the only thing I keep holding against Valley, stop trying to run the other offenses that you see everybody else doing and create our own unique style and brand. Mm-hmm. And I think they'll have much more success. As far as Jackson goes, Jackson continues as Southern. You can discount them if you want to, but each and every week they end up hitting you in the mouth, and they're standing on top looking down at everybody else. Yep. I'm going to give them an A for their efforts and consistency.
Right. And then, to me, one of the surprise games of the week was my alma mater winning the Arkansas Pine Bluff and won that game 52-24. I'm going to have to give my Bulldogs an A, and Arkansas Pine Bluff I have to take a C-.
Well, I'm going to give your Bulldogs an A+. And it's because I was riding with them to give me a little creep in the tally poll.
Yep.
And they did exceptionally well, came out on fire. And as far as Pine Bluff, I'll give Pine Bluff a C+. They did about as what you would expect a Pine Bluff squad to do. And it was just more surprise from the Bulldog side than anything.
Right. And then, of course, the game that shocked everybody, your Prairie View Panthers took Florida A&M to the woodshed and beat them 31-12. Your Panthers will get an A+ from me, and Florida A&M has to take it home a D-.
Well, I tell you what, Coach, I'm going to give Florida A&M a C, and I'm going to tell you why. Because of the behavior at the end of the game.
Yeah.
It was rough. And, in my youth, Coach, I said they got whooped twice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but, I'm going to try to take the high road, but I am going to see it. They got beat on the field, and they got them hands thrown on them at the end of the game.
Right.
I give Prairie, even though I'm on record, I thought with the logic, just like most of the rest of the SWAC world, that they would come up short, but they did well. I gave them an A+, and if I could give them an A++, I would do so. But they showed such fight, and it made you ask, where has this team been all season?
Oh, yep.
All season.
Yep. Showed up at the right time.
Right.
Yep. And then now over in the MEAC, evidently I made a mistake last week because the game that for some reason either I didn't record our results or I had the wrong week now because our game was
I thought it was Delaware State.
Right. Yeah, Delaware and who?
Delaware and Morgan, I thought.
Okay, correct. That's who played, and Morgan won that game 36-28.
Mm-hmm.
And
I do know I had called for Delaware State because I needed to get an uptick, but it wasn't going to help me whoever they played.
Right. Okay, you picked Delaware State.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Well, Morgan State won that game 36-28.
Yeah, so I didn't gain anything on that one.
Right. And see, I thought it was Delaware versus Howard, but that was the week before. Delaware with Howard was that game was played on the 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
So Morgan did win that game 36-28, and then this thing is about to get real here in the next couple of weeks, and this is a very crucial week coming up in the SWAC, and it kicks off on Thursday night where Grambling State comes to Huntsville. ESPNU Grambling at Alabama A&M. How do you see it, sir?
Sir, I'm staying with the Bulldogs on this one.
Yeah.
Now, you might get on the bandwagon train now, and I expect that, but I'm picking the Bulldogs.
Right, I against Arkansas Pine Bluff, and then I had an opportunity to see the two quarterbacks walking hand in hand last night at the basketball game. I'm staying with them because that shows me that there's no division, there's unity there. They were both together having fun at the game, and so I'm staying with the Bulldogs.
Well, wait a minute, Coach. Why don't you pick Grambling one more time this week?
No. Grambling has disappointed everybody all year long, so they won't get me. And for the first time, now I've always stayed with my Bulldogs until last week, and I picked against them. and that lets you gain a little ground on me.
Yes, sir.
All right, next up. Now, here's the game that could decide the Eastern Division Championship. Jackson State at Alabama State. How do you see it, sir?
Sir, I am going with Jackson State to come out strong. They know what's at hand. Alabama State has been a phantom ghost for me. Every time I think they turn the corner, they go back 3 blocks. So I'm taking Jackson State all day.
And I agree with you because Alabama State is too up and down. Jackson State has shown the most consistency during the SWAC schedule. So we're both in agreement there to Jackson State. Next up, Arkansas Pine Bluff at Southern.
I keep talking about how lucky Southern is, or how people are saying how lucky Southern is. Pine Bluff is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
You never know what you're going to get. Because, and only because, I'm in the hole, Coach, I'm going to take the Golden Lions.
Wow.
So only because I'm in the hole. And I got to make up. I'm running out of time, Coach. I'm running out of games.
Well, I'm going to go with Southern. I think Coach Graves is going to have them ready. And if I saw this right, or if I believe what they were saying, if Southern wins this game, they win the West.
Yeah, it's over. It's over. But I think with everything unfolding, Pine Bluff is going to give me a little grace and mercy to stay alive, and then the Southern will finish off everything against Grambling at the Bayou Classic. They'll solidify everything there. That's what I'm hoping for anyway.
Okay, all right. Then we got Bethune-Cookman at Texas Southern.
I'm taking the Wildcats.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
I'm going with Texas Southern.
Goody.
Yeah. I think Texas Southern will show up at home.
Okay.
All right. We got Mississippi Valley going down to Tallahassee, Florida A&M.
Shame on the Valley to face the Rattlers at home after coming off that disappointing loss.
Yep.
This was going to be Rattler all day long. Strike, and strike again.
I think so too, sir.
Yes,
all
sir.
right, and then that leaves us with your alma mater playing host to Alcorn State.
I got to pick the Prairie View A&M University Panthers. They're going to be at home. They still can play spoiler and finish with some respectability and credibility. I think they have galvanized themselves and rallied around Coach Bubba. And this being the final home game of the regular season, senior day, I think they'll have enough mustard in the tank to cross the finish line, sir.
I agree with you, sir. I agree with you. And so that takes care of the SWAC over in the MEAC. On Friday, Howard is at North Carolina Central. But I think the game of the week in the MEAC is going to be South Carolina State visiting Morgan State. Morgan State has one loss along with North Carolina Central. Now, Central has the tiebreaker over Morgan State because they won early in the year.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Morgan State and South Carolina State will be the game in the MEAC. So how do you see that?
I'm going to take the visitors, South Carolina State, sir. I'm trying to make a leap. Don't you feel me nipping on your heels, Coach?
But I'm in agreement with you. I think South Carolina State. No, they have shown all year when they beat Central. I said they're the team to beat. Yeah. So we're both in agreement on there. But
yes,
we
sir.
got enough. We got enough in the SWAC. We got 2 games where we don't see eye to eye. So so that could make some ground up. That could make some ground up there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, of course, we got the football season coming to a crescendo. Basketball season just about to get off. But before I do that, Coach, I want to give a congratulations to the Southern Jaguars soccer team.
Oh, yeah.
They were victorious over Texas Southern on the campus of Prairie View for the SWAC championship, winning 1-0. Very, very competitive round of events in the soccer tournament. And as a matter of fact, Southern has drawn Mississippi State in the first round of the regional soccer kickoffs, and they will take on, I believe it's on Friday at 7 p.m. from Mississippi State. I keep wanting to say Michigan State, but so congratulations to them. And with that being said, basketball is up and out, Coach. And I know you got some scores to wrap up for us.
Oh, yes. This past week on the women's side, Alabama A&M went into Ypsilanti, Michigan, and they beat Eastern Michigan 66-57. The other schools, Grambling played host to Xavier. Grambling won that game 69. That's Xavier out of Louisiana now. They won that game 69-55. Bethune-Cookman, they loaded up on a school called Fort Lauderdale, and they beat them 102-27.
Yeah, you didn't like that score neither, huh, Coach?
No, not at all. Not at all. Jackson State did pretty good. They beat East Tennessee State on the road 55-48. Southern's women went to Ames, Iowa, and they lost that game 84-56. Arkansas Pine Bluff lost to Ole Miss 85-24. I didn't like that score. And Mississippi State beat up on Alcorn 73-45. And then, of course, last night Florida State beat FAMU 93-54. Oklahoma State over Texas Southern 87-57. And so you still see a lot of lopsided scores when it comes to basketball, but we still have to understand that they're balancing the budget. That's what these games are doing.
It's fundraising season.
Yes. And then on the men's side, you had a host of games. Jackson State lost to High Point 80-71. Tulsa hosted Arkansas Pine Bluff and won that game 103-80. This Alcorn lost to here's a disappointment. Alcorn State lost to Xavier University of Louisiana. Now the SWAC doesn't have the score listed, but I do know the results. They did lose that game. Nebraska hosted Bethune-Cookman and won that game 63-58. Being in I've had the opportunity to go to Lincoln 3 times, and for some reason, the SWAC school, we all play pretty decent when we go to Nebraska. So that was when you look at Bethune-Cookman scoring, holding them to 63 points, and they score 58. That's pretty good.
Right.
And then on Sunday, Georgia played host to Texas Southern, won that game 92-64. LSU hosted Alabama State. They beat them 74-61. And then, of course, last night, Florida A&M was at Maryland, and they lost 84-53. And University of Florida played host to Grambling, and won 86-62. And Tulane hosted Alcorn. They won that game 84-51. And in the event center last night, Alabama A&M rolled over Arkansas Baptist 103-57. So that's two back-to-back 100-point games for the Bulldogs.
Are y'all trying to make a statement, Coach?
No, well, we'll see if they're gonna make a statement when they step up in competition. So far, that's two NAIA schools on the schedule. Yeah, but you're still gonna see a lot of these lopsided schools because once again it's fundraising time. So
right.
Yeah, and so the only surprise to me has been Alcorn. Well, and when I say surprise, it's a disappointment because they've lost to Talladega and Xavier, two teams that they should have beat. Yeah, and so that's where we stand right now with SWAC basketball. So we can expect some more lopsided scores until the end of December.
Well, in defense of Alcorn, this is early part of the season. It's fundraising time, but it's also finding your rotations and your mixes and matches. And do you think this is just experimental losses, or should it not matter because of the depth of talent that should be on these squads?
Right. Well, in Alcorn's case, I thought that they had enough coming back that they would be one of the better teams. So we're gonna give them a pass and say that Coach is experimenting. He's trying to get everybody involved because I do know that at Alabama A&M they played 16 people in both games. So so in the early going, people are still trying to find their way around. So we'll give them a break on that.
Right. Whereas, unlike a quick reference, they're talking about the astonishment that Coach Kerr is doing with the Warriors, playing 12 players in rotation,
right?
Which is unheard of in the NBA, but they're finding early results. And they're trying to save the old man. It's funny to call him the old man now because he's always been a youngster, but he still can hit that three. So they're preserving his legs for, when it counts. And I'm just thinking that maybe that's the case in these early games in the SWAC.
Right. And in the NBA, the surprise team are the Cleveland Cavaliers. They're the only one that's still undefeated, and they're rolling up there. So basketball is getting ready. Football is winding down. You had some major big games this past weekend because our Alabama Crimson Tide went down to Louisiana, and they put on a show down there.
Oh yeah, that wasn't even fair.
and if we don't watch it, we're gonna allow Deion Sanders to win the Big 12.
Hey, Coach, I was talking. I would think it might have been Coach Northern last week. Love him or hate him, he's doing his thing.
Yep.
Now, this is what makes the Sports Illustrated Man of the Year a little crazy from last year. If he got it last year for winning a couple of games, he's showing enough how to get it this year, huh?
Yes, sir. And he keep piling up them incentives too. The bonuses, he just piled them up. They just racking them up.
Well, a lot of people are saying now there's speculation that he might tip off to the NFL, but he declares he doesn't want to coach the NFL. If anywhere he might end up, guess what? He might end up at FSU.
And you know what? To me, that's the best fit. Yeah. That's the best fit for Deion to go back to where he played.
Yeah.
And revitalize that program. Well, I can't say that revitalize because after all, they only lost one game last year. Florida State only lost one game last year, and how they have fallen off so far this year, no one has been able to figure that out.
Well, here's why I think it would make sense. Deion would be the ultimate distraction, not only for rebirth of the football team, but the legal issues that they're dealing with currently with the ACC. He could draw so much attention. He just has that Midas touch of drawing the attention toward him, and while they're doing the backdoor negotiations, he can be revitalizing his alma mater. Well, I can't say alma mater, but where he played at.
Right. Yeah, that's true. But you know what? We just got to give Dion credit. This guy, his persona has everywhere he's gone, he's been the same way, the same person.
Mm-hmm.
And it attracts people. It attracts players. And people just buy into what he's doing.
Yes, sir.
This man he and his company have really taken advantage of his popularity.
Well, he's a Renaissance man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's going to march to his own beat, and he's going to do it the way Dion wants to do it. And as long as he's getting results, how can you question and argue?
Right. And I'm just glad to see him having success, and I'm hoping in my heart that when he puts his faith and all of that out there, that it's genuine. That's my only concern.
Mm-hmm.
That's my only concern.
Well, you know, he was in the ministry for a little while under Mr. T.D. Jakes.
With him using his religion and his faith as his springboard.
Right.
I just hope it's genuine.
Well, I say time will tell, right? But before we get out of here, Coach, I got to ask your opinion of an event that is scheduled for this coming Friday, November 15th.
Yeah.
Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. 27-year-old influencer, you know, he's got, I'm going to say, adequate boxing skill, but regardless of the age difference, I'm really concerned about that young man stepping into the ring with Mike Tyson.
No, I'm more concerned about Mike Tyson's health.
No, sir.
I'm more concerned about Mike Tyson's health.
No, sir.
I think at his age, I don't think he can do enough damage to that young guy.
Coach, if you look at how this fight is set up, they've modified it in favor of Mike Tyson. And they're going 8 rounds instead of 10 or 12. They're going 2-minute rounds instead of 3. And regardless of the age factor, Mike Tyson, this is his life. Prize fighting. Jake Paul, as I say, adequate boxing skills. He's been beating up on a lot of people, but he's a street fighter or a brawler. Tyson is a boxer, and I just keep referring back to when Roy Jones Jr. had made the comment 4 years ago when he and Tyson did an exhibition fight. He said getting punched by Mike Tyson was like getting kicked by a mule.
So the old man still has it. Huh?
Hey, man, you know, they call it that old man strength.
Yeah.
That old man strength. And I believe Mike Tyson has enough boxing skill that he's going to catch that young man with a counter move. And he's going to wake up with beeps to the sounds of beep, beep, beep. And regardless, I got to cast aside anything for this Friday. I've got to partake in that. And I hope no one gets hurt, but I think Tyson's going to be the last man standing, sir.
Right. Well, I'm more concerned about Tyson's health because I think if the young guy is fast enough, I think he'll get a couple of headshots in. And God knows Mike Tyson needs all the senses that he has now.
Well, old saying, as an old boxer myself, Coach, work the body and the head will follow.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Tyson is going to lay some body blows on this young man, and then as he's recovering from the oof, here come that boom, boom. Next thing you know, it's good night, Irene.
But my thing is the young guy going to be crazy enough to stand in front of Mike Tyson? He should be moving and dancing and getting the older guy tired.
Here's what you think. For years, you saw Muhammad Ali trick people with the rope-a-dope. You know, when you fought Big Mighty George Foreman and Ken Norton and all these other guys, where the plus and the minus on Jake Paul's side is youth.
Correct.
Youth makes you invincible, but it also makes you foolish.
Yes, that is true. That is true.
I just believe that Tyson's going to have the answer.
Yeah, but it also reminds me of Muhammad Ali and Larry Holmes. I still feel like Muhammad Ali took the worst beating of his career against Larry Holmes. Larry Holmes put some shots on that man's head that I think that brought on the early onset of that Parkinson.
Well, there's no doubt. There's no doubt about that. And it was, once again, though, you had two skilled fighters in the ring together.
Right.
And, in fact, Holmes showed mercy, and he said, man, y'all stop this. Y'all stop this.
Mm-hmm.
And see, the thing about this fight here, it is that difference between experience and just fools rushing in that's going to make the difference. And that's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm not going to put no money on it.
Right.
But I will root for the senior.
and that's this Friday.
Yes, sir. This Friday, November 15th, and it's going to be on Netflix. So, look at me giving a plug for them, but it's okay. And it's not sure. You know, usually they do these pay-per-views. If you have a Netflix subscription, you're already geared to watch it.
Yeah, I just have to remember to do it. Yeah, we have Netflix. I just got to
put it on the
calendar.
I'll even give you a friendly ring reminder.
Yep.
All right.
Friday should be a good day for us.
Yes,
so
it should be a good day.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Well, Coach, look, we didn't cover a lot of ground. You got some closing thoughts and comments for today, sir?
Well, yes, I think this has been a great year in the SWAC. I'm looking forward to this weekend to see if the two schools that have an opportunity to clinch their divisions, if they will step up to the plate and get it done. So I'm anxious to see that.
Okay, well, Coach, don't look too far behind you because I'm right there on you, sir.
Oh, yeah. You're nipping. You're nipping.
I'm right there on you.
Yes, sir.
And we're not going to call it a comeback. We're going to call it a come up.
There you go.
Coach, I always enjoy to talk with you, man, and talk sports and life, and we look forward to each time we get together. He is the guru, Coach Van Pettaway, and I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince, reminding you that you can follow me on Twitter X at The Mike Prince Show. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, but not only subscribe, but hit that bell notification. That way you get everything that is produced here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network at Open Mic Broadcast Network on YouTube, and visit the website, obnradio.com, for our 24-hour streaming content. Time has come where I must exit stage left for right now, but as always, you guys be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.